Hi, so my name is Aydin Dikerdem. I'm a councillor in Queenstown Ward in Battersea, and I'm here at Wandsworth Town Hall. We just got the response paper to a paper that I had written in June about the Wandsworth Food Bank, and particularly to do with the discretionary social funds criteria, and to do with the fact that we're placing people in temporary accommodation outside of the borough, and this is costing them a lot in travel costs. So there was a response to my paper tonight that was presented, and I assumed that I would be allowed to speak on that. Wandsworth Conservatives decided to not let me speak in response to this paper and shut me out from the debate. What was more egregious is that all the volunteers from the food bank and other third sector organisations in Wandsworth who had come to see the discussion were forced to wait all the way through half of the agenda, which is totally outside the protocol that we usually do. So as a courtesy, when people come to the public gallery, we move the agenda up so they don't have to sit through hours and hours of discussion. That was explicitly done to make people have to go home because it gets late at night. So another way of Wandsworth Conservatives shutting down democracy and shutting down debate. As you can tell, I'm furious. I'm very, very angry about this. Particularly given the fact that this paper was specifically about helping the most vulnerable residents in Wandsworth. And the response has been using figures that were acknowledged by the committee to be false, to be misrepresentative, and were not a clear guide to how Wandsworth could become a leading borough in supporting those who are placed very far outside of the borough and who have to travel in at huge expense. So this is the problem with democracy, right? This is the problem with, if this is where decisions are happening that affect people in Wandsworth Borough, and the mechanisms and institutions and the councillors decide to vote in ways that make it harder for people to understand what's going on, we have a massive problem. We need to be live streaming these meetings, we need to be opening the town hall up, and we need to be letting councillors, representative councillors like myself who was voted in, who gave a paper, to be able to respond to the council's response. So yeah, it feels like often one step forward, two steps back. But one of the good things to come out of this is that Labour has managed to influence Wandsworth Borough Council's policy. The discretionary social fund criteria will now change, and that's what we do in opposition. We fight and we can get things done. Sadly, the travel cost has been kicked into the long grass, but we're going to be working hard to make sure that that becomes a reality and stopping them from being able to sort of bury it in sort of authoritarian chairmanship at the committee meeting. So yeah, we'll keep fighting for you, and that's what Wandsworth Labour is about.